Clinical depression is very, very real.
कॉर्पोरेट्स में इतना स्ट्रेस बढ़ गया. अभी इनफैक्ट मैं लेटेस्ट न्यूज़ पढ़ रही थी, उसमें एक लड़की ने स्ट्रेस की वजह से सुसाइड कर लिया है.
Suicide is not something that you overnight decide. क्योंकि अगर फैमिली का सपोर्ट और अंडरस्टैंडिंग मिल जाए ना, then I think these things can be warded off.
Have you ever experienced or do you have any story where you have taken your client to a past life?
बहुत सारे केसेस हैं ऐसे जहाँ पे हमने स्टोरीज को अनफोल्ड किया है and help them heal their problem. So when she went into a past life, she saw that her this lifetime husband, and she was also in a man's body. मरते मरते उसने एक ही चीज बोली, इसका घमंड तोड़ूंगा, इससे सेवा करवाऊंगा, and he died.
इंडिया में तो बहुत ज़्यादा ये बिलीव करते हैं कि अगर ड्रीम में सांप आ रहा है या ड्रीम में शेर आ रहा है या ड्रीम में कुछ भी कोई भी एनिमल और समथिंग इज कमिंग, कंफ्यूज हो जाती हूँ कि ये सपना था
या
रियल था.
You know, you're doing time travel when you're sleeping. Maybe you could get signs from maybe your ancestors. They give you signs.
Ice therapy, aqua therapy, and so many types of therapies. So how do you analyze कि इसको इस चीज़ की ज़रूरत है?
Because जो भी हमारे साथ हो रहा है इस वक्त हमारे जीवन में, it is due to our past.
Do you have any mantra to attract money?
Yes.
Can gays be converted into straight people? हेलो एवरीबॉडी, वेलकम टू भविष्यवाणी. हम सबको लाइफ में कभी ना कभी एक एक्सटर्नल फोर्स की ज़रूरत होती है, बेटर डिसीजंस लेने के लिए, मोटिवेशन लेने के लिए, और उस टाइम हम किसी ना किसी और दोस्तों के पास जाते हैं, फ्रेंड्स, फैमिली और किसी ना किसी रिलेटिव के पास जाते हैं. आज हम उस इंसान के साथ हैं जो सबकी फ्रेंड है, सबकी रिलेटिव है और सबकी फैमिली है, हु इज़ नॉट जस्ट अ लाइफ कोच बट ऑल्सो विल हेल्प यू मेक डिसीजंस इन अ बेटर वे. प्लीज़ वेलकम Dr. Ramon Llamba on Bhavishwani.
Thank you so much, Bhavishya, and it's such a pleasure for me to be here today.
So, Doctor, we have, इतने दिनों से हम सोच रहे हैं कि साइंस को हम कैसे रिलेट कर सकते हैं स्पिरिचुअलिटी से, कैसे रिलेट कर सकते हैं हम हीलिंग के लिए. और मैंने जैसे ही देखा कि यू आर दैट वन पर्सन हु कैन एक्चुअली रिलेट क्वांटम फिजिक्स विद इमोशनल इंटेलिजेंस विद स्पिरिचुअलिटी, तो मेरे को लगा कि दिस इज़ द बेस्ट अपॉर्चुनिटी टू गेट इन टच विद यू. सो हाउ डू यू डू दैट?
सो बेसिकली अगर आप जीवन को समझो, राइट, जिस हम जीवन में रहते हैं, दिस इज ओनली अ पार्ट ऑफ द मटीरियल वर्ल्ड. बट हम सबको ये एस्टैब्लिश्ड बहुत अच्छी तरह से है दैट देयर इज लाइफ इवन आफ्टर दिस लाइफ.
ओके,
कहीं तो हम जाते होंगे ना, आफ्टर वी पास ऑन एंड वी मूव ऑन. सो क्वांटम फिजिक्स इज द स्टडी ऑफ द नॉन फिजिकल रियलिटी. ये सृष्टि कहाँ से आई, राइट, एंड क्या था इसके पहले और क्या है इसके बाद. सो क्वांटम फिजिक्स इज अ सब्जेक्ट ऑफ द अनसीन रियलिटी. जैसे हमारी सोल भी है, ओके, इट इज़ प्योर कॉन्शियस एनर्जी, एंड ये अनसीन है. हम सोल को देख तो नहीं सकते बट रियल है. हम इमोशंस को देख नहीं सकते बट रियल है. हम थॉट्स को देख नहीं सकते हैं, टच नहीं कर सकते, फील नहीं कर सकते, बट दे आर वेरी रियल. सो बेसिकली क्वांटम फिजिक्स एक ऐसा स्टडी है जो बियॉन्ड मैटर, बियॉन्ड द वर्ल्ड ऑफ मैटर, बियॉन्ड द सॉलिड वर्ल्ड हमको बताता है कि क्या है, all what energy is made up of, ये cosmic energy क्या है, हम कहाँ से आए. So it's all about that unseen reality. So it's very tied up into spirituality.
So when you say कि soul है बट हम उसे फील नहीं कर पाते, तो कुछ ऐसी साइंटिफिक रिसर्च या स्टडीज़ हैं जो हमें बताता है कि सोल एक्चुअल में एग्जिस्ट करता है. इट इज़ नॉट जस्ट साइंस बट देयर इज समथिंग कॉल्ड सोल which helps us live.
साइंस में हमारे पास एविडेंस नहीं है, बट हमारे स्क्रिप्चर्स में तो बहुत ज़्यादा, when you read the Guru Granth Sahib, the Bhagavad Gita, we talk about karma, we talk about rebirthing, we also talk about the Param Atma and the Atma. However, in quantum physics, there's a lot of research going on, and when you recognize it from a very material perspective, जब हम एनर्जी की बात करते हैं ना, एनर्जी इज मैनिफेस्टेड एज एटम्स इन द मटेरियल वर्ल्ड, एंड द वर्ड एटम्स इज कम फ्रॉम द वर्ड आतम.
ओके,
राइट. सो बहुत ज्यादा गौर से अगर देखेंगे हम, एंड आत्म इज व्हाट, इट इज अ पीस, उस परम आत्मा का एक अंश है जो मटेरियल वर्ल्ड में एक गेम खेलने आया है या एक अनफुलफिल्ड कर्मा फुलफिल करने आया है, कुछ तो रीज़न है ना कि ये है। क्वांटम फिजिक्स में अभी भी ये क्वेश्चन मार्क है that who is this energy or what is this big conscious energy that's playing this game behind the scenes. But कुछ तो एक energy है ना जो मॉर्निंग में सन आता है, शाम को मून आता है, seasons change, there's so much life naturally, so there's some divine energy that's making this happen, but we don't have a scientific evidence to that.
So I was reading, आप इस practice में almost 30 years है, 30 plus years, that is I think a long time. So why did you choose this? What was the reason that you felt like studying about science, spirituality, quantum physics, and so much you have in your
देखो
bucket?
जब कोई भी सोल इस जीवन में आती है ना, उसका एक पर्पस होता है, धर्मा, राइट? और अगर हम राइट कर्मा करते हैं, कर्मा इज एक्शन, तो हम उस धर्म या पर्पस को से जुड़ जाते हैं. सो एज अ चाइल्ड आई वाज ऑलवेज कनेक्टेड टू माय पर्पस एंड आई न्यू दैट मेरा इस जीवन में यही पर्पस है. आई कुड नॉट सी माई सेल्फ in any other reality.
Okay.
In between there was a time in my life for about 15 years where I was into selling clothes, designer garments, and I was designing, but deep down inside I always knew, and I was preparing for this paradigm of my life, that यहाँ पे कुछ difference देने आई हूँ. And जैसे for example एक singer होता है, उसका धर्म होता है famous singer बनना, तो बचपन से ही वो संस्कार लेके आता है अच्छी आवाज का, उसके अंदर होता है. सो दिस विजडम ऑफ क्वांटम फिजिक्स, यूनिवर्स, एटम्स, स्पिरिचुअलिटी, ये मेरे अंदर हमेशा से ही था. सो आई डिड नॉट डू एनीथिंग एक्स्ट्राऑर्डिनरी टू गेट हियर. इट्स ऑलवेज बीन देयर. आई जस्ट चैनलाइज द एनर्जी इन द राइट डायरेक्शन.
Okay. So when clients come to you, सपोज किसी को कोई भी प्रॉब्लम हो सकता है, डिप्रेशन हो सकता है, एंजाइटी हो सकता है, बिजनेस रिलेटेड प्रॉब्लम हो सकता है. सो व्हाट इज़ द फर्स्ट थिंग दैट यू डू टू एक्चुअली एनालाइज कि उसको किस थेरेपी की ज़रूरत है? क्योंकि हमने देखा है कि आप बहुत सारी अलग अलग टाइप की थेरेपीज देते हो, आइस थेरेपी, एक्वा थेरेपी, एंड सो मैनी टाइप्स ऑफ थेरेपीज. सो हाउ डू यू एनालाइज कि इसको इस चीज़ की ज़रूरत है?
सो हमारा जो अप्रोच है बहुत होलिस्टिक है एंड इंटीग्रेटिव है. Right, so the first step is, first I hear them out totally, because जो भी हमारे साथ हो रहा है इस वक्त हमारे जीवन में, it is due to our past roots. आप अग्री करेंगे that roots create fruits, right? तो अब जो जीवन में उनका situation है वो fruits हैं. तो the first thing I wanted to do is go to the root cause of it by talk therapy and by understanding. Then I tie up various modalities to create a very holistic approach. Like for example, breathwork therapy we use to go deep into the problem and to go into the subconscious or unconscious and remove the problem from there. Ice bath therapy is a very integrative kind of a thing. So ये सब जो अलग अलग therapies है ना, there are different tools in a toolkit. जैसे एग्जाम्पल अगर मैं दूँ, एक सर्जन, हम सर्जरी के लिए जाते हैं, उसके पास वेरियस टूल्स होते हैं उसके टेबल पर. वो मोमेंट पे मोमेंट डिसाइड करता है कि मुझे ये टूल यूज़ करना है, ये टूल यूज़ करना है. सो इट्स नॉट लाइक आई कैन प्री प्लान समथिंग. इट्स ऑन द मोमेंट वेयर वी डिसाइड दैट ओके दिस client is ready for this now or this now. So it's a very personalized journey that we create.
Okay. So can you tell me कि like suppose एक ice therapy मेरे को चाहिए, तो उससे एक particular type की चीज़ ही क्योर हो सकती है, जैसे डिप्रेशन, या उससे हम वाइड वैरायटी ऑफ चीज़ें भी क्योर कर सकते हैं, जैसे स्किज़ोफ्रेनिया?
Okay.
Exactly.
So first of all, ice bath therapy is not a cure.
Okay.
But it is a integrative tool जहाँ पे जब हम थेरेपी ले रहे हैं, right? The ice bath session actually produces so much good chemicals. It activates our vagus nerve and it gives us a very feel good factor. So अगर हम ट्रॉमा रिलीजिंग कर रहे हैं, सो हमारा माइंड कैन नॉट टेल द डिफरेंस बिटवीन ये ट्रॉमा कब हुआ था, बट जिस वक्त हम रिलीज कर रहे हैं उस ट्रॉमा को, उस वक्त वो द माइंड इज रीलिविंग द ट्रॉमा. सो आइस बाथ थेरेपी कैन इंटीग्रेट देम एंड मेक देम फील गुड एंड ब्रिंग देम इन द नाउ मोमेंट. So it's not a healing therapy, however it's an integrative therapy.
जैसे अभी हम कॉर्पोरेट एनवायरनमेंट में देखते हैं, इतना ज़्यादा स्ट्रेस बढ़ गया है, कॉर्पोरेट्स में इतना स्ट्रेस बढ़ गया। अभी इनफैक्ट मैं लेटेस्ट न्यूज़ पढ़ रही थी, उसमें एक लड़की ने स्ट्रेस की वजह से सुसाइड कर लिया है। और कॉर्पोरेट्स में नहीं, मतलब कॉलेजेस में भी अगर हम देखें इतना स्ट्रेस है कि लोग स्टूडेंट सुसाइड कर लेते हैं या फिर क्लिनिकल डिप्रेशन में चले जाते हैं। कुछ ऐसी चीज़ है कि यू नो विदाउट द हेल्प ऑफ एक्सटर्नल दिस कोचिंग और लाइफ कोचिंग, वो कुछ ऐसे स्टेप्स हैं जो घर पे हम फॉलो कर सकते हैं जिसकी वजह से हम सुसाइड रोक सकें या फिर डिप्रेशन से बाहर आ सकें।
ये एक बहुत ही सेंसिटिव टॉपिक है बिकॉज जो इंसान डील कर रहा है इतना ट्रॉमा अंदर, ओनली दैट पर्सन नोज हाउ रियल इट इज एट दैट मोमेंट। बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होता है फैमिली का सपोर्ट, for the family to understand what the person is going through, because it's a very silent kind of a killer, you know, because suicide is not something that you overnight decide. It's a very slow and progressive decision that happens, right? And it could be because of early childhood trauma. It could be because of a pattern that the child has embodied in the mother's womb, you know. मैंने एक कोर्स किया था suicidality पे, जहाँ पे एक evidently एक रिसर्च रिपोर्ट थी where they said that 99% of people, especially in the teenage and this young age, who want to go into think of suicidality, are carrying memories from their mother's womb, right? Okay. Where the mother also had the tendencies for maybe, you know, suicidality. And then there are many factors to this. So ऐसे लोगों के लिए देखो, they just need external help and more so they need family support. क्योंकि अगर फैमिली का सपोर्ट और अंडरस्टैंडिंग मिल जाए ना, then I think these things can be warded off.
तो ये जो डिप्रेशन है या एंजाइटी है या कोई भी मेंटल इलनेस है, क्या ये पास्ट लाइफ से भी आ सकती है हमारे इस लाइफ में?
Past life say, I would not say, because depression and any mental illness is got to do with imbalance in the brain chemistry. जैसे फॉर एग्जाम्पल हमारा ब्रेन एवरी डे प्रोड्यूसेस सर्टन केमिकल्स, लाइक सेरोटोनिन इज अ हैप्पी केमिकल, ऑक्सीटोसिन इज अ फील गुड केमिकल. सो किसी ना किसी ट्रॉमेटिक मेमोरी की वजह से इन दिस लाइफ टाइम वो कहीं ना कहीं इम्बैलेंस हो जाता है, ना ब्रेन स्टॉप्स प्रोड्यूसिंग दोस एंड वी गोइंग टू अ वेरी डाउन लाइफ कंडीशन. It definitely could be a trigger of any childhood memory or early nurturing years. It's very difficult to say that if this is connected to a past life, but हो सकता है then maybe some memory has triggered that happened somewhere in some lifetime, and इस lifetime में भी वो एक, you know, it's like pulled a loaded gun. The gun was loaded with a memory in the past, और ये वाली situation ने उसको trigger कर दिया.
So when you talk about past life, तो 90% of the लोग तो हमें believe ही नहीं करते कि past life भी कुछ होती है. Have you ever experienced, or do you have any story where you have taken your client to a past life, to their past life?
A lot of things. With Dr. Brian West, I got certified almost like 23 years ago for past life regression therapy, and it is one of the most sought of therapies, especially when you're having relationship problems, karmic issues, because हर एक problem जरूरी नहीं इस lifetime से आई है. देखो 3 areas होती हैं जहाँ से हमारी memories trigger होती हैं या problems होती हैं. Number 1, past life. Number 2, when we are in our mother's womb, 9 months when we are in our mother's womb, we carry a lot of memories, emotional memories in our cells. Our cells store memories, and our early 0 to 14 years of age. So ये सारा जो हमारा past है, right? So when I talk about past life, I'm not referring to your past lifetime, but it could be somewhere in your childhood, it could be in your mother's womb, or the trauma could be coming from past life. बहुत सारे cases हैं ऐसे जहाँ पे हमने stories को unfold किया है and help them heal their problem. Yes.
कोई एक interesting story आपको याद है जो?
You know, I'd rather not bring out any story because it's very confidential, and अगर मैं share भी करूँ without the names, but then the person hearing also would know. मैं खुद की ही अपनी you know situation बता सकती हूँ where I realized that my relationship with my mother, right? And we normally say our roots create our fruits, और हमारे roots हमारे माँ बाप होते हैं. So somewhere, you know, there was a tampered relationship with my own mother, and for the longest time I grew up with the belief that she doesn't love me. But the fact was she does love me, right? So when I started working on myself and my relationship with her, because these memories, and they're stuck in our consciousness, they can show up as a mental disease, an emotional disease, or even a physical disease. So I started developing problems in my uterus, right? So uterus being a very feminine organ, it very indicates that you're carrying mother wounds, mother emotional wounds. So when I started regressing myself, I went back to 4 lifetimes with her, where there were so many incompletions, and in this lifetime I chose her as a mother so that I could get unconditional love from her, right? बहुत सारी stories हैं. I can give you another story, and this story is really something that shakes up people. About 23 years back, I had this client who came to me, and her story was that she was married to this one particular person, and इसकी जब शादी हुई इस इंसान से, in just about 3 months इसका एक्सीडेंट हो गया उसके हस्बैंड का, and he went paraplegic. He went into bed rest like a vegetable. Okay, and this girl उसकी सेवा ही करती रही. So she came to me after 20 years of doing this episode. She told me, Ramon, I'm really tired of doing this seva, because ever since I've got married, मैं इसकी सेवा ही कर रही हूँ, वो तो वेजिटेबल बन के बैठा हुआ बेड पे. So I told her maybe it could be karmic, let's regress you. So I still remember that one episode, because this was one of my first past life regression memories. So when she went into a past life, she saw that her this lifetime husband was her servant. Okay, in that lifetime. And she was also in a man's body. She was a male. She saw herself as a male, and she was very egoistic and very superior. And उस servant ने कुछ गलती की जो उसका अभी husband था, and उसे बहुत घमंड से ना उसको बहुत जोर से ना ऐसे लात से मारा. And he went and hit his head against a stone, and यहाँ से उसने देखा blood निकल रहा है, and with that stone hitting, some nerve got cut, right? And मरते मरते उसने एक ही चीज बोली, इसका घमंड तोड़ूंगा, इससे सेवा करवाऊंगा, and he died.
Oh my God.
And in this lifetime he came as a husband, and वो जब से शादी हुई थी ना सेवा ही करवा रहा था.
I actually have goosebumps right
telling you.
now.
And इस lifetime में भी वो सेवा कैसे करा था, nerve cut हो गई थी. Paraplegia means nerve cut हो जाती है, right? So but the magic about that was 20 years वो सेवा ना बहुत रो रो के कर रही थी. But when she saw this story, her entire mindset for doing the seva changed, and she was apologetic, and in less than almost 21 days of doing the seva with proper forgiveness, with proper compassion, he released her of the karma and he passed away, and she was free. Karma is very real, past life is very real, and these memories show up as dreams, they show up as an inner awareness, but you need someone to interpret them for you of what's going on.
I actually have goosebumps right now after listening to this. Okay, so you just said something about dreams. Do you think dreams are a second life to us? मतलब मेरे को ऐसा लगता है, मैं कभी कभी ना कंफ्यूज हो जाती हूँ कि ये सपना था
या
रियल था आफ्टर सम टाइम.
2 चीजें होती है ड्रीम्स में भविष्य. वन इज हमारा एक सबकॉन्शियस माइंड है, ओके, और जब हम सोते हैं रात को हमारा कॉन्शियस माइंड सो जाता है, तो द सबकॉन्शियस माइंड वेक्स अप, एंड आवर सबकॉन्शियस माइंड इज स्टोरिंग ऑल ऑफ द अनप्रोसेस्ड थॉट्स एंड मेमोरीज पूरे दिन में या पूरे. सो इन द नाइट थ्रू ड्रीम्स आवर सबकॉन्शियस माइंड इज डूइंग इट्स हाउसकीपिंग. सो वो निकल रहा है, जो भी कचरा है, गुड और बैड, जो भी हमारे थॉट्स हैं, ये एक एस्पेक्ट है. द सेकेंड एस्पेक्ट इज समटाइम्स व्हेन वी आर ड्रीमिंग वी आल्सो एस्ट्रल ट्रैवल इनटू पैरेलल टाइमलाइंस. That is the time when you wonder कि real हो रहा है. That's called lucid dreaming, where you are actually sleeping here, but your consciousness has moved to another past, another memory, another timeline where you're releasing trauma.
Okay.
Right? Please understand, past, present, future सब कुछ यहीं पे है. It's not anywhere else. जैसे आपको एक एग्जाम्पल देती हूँ. अगर हम एक हाईवे पे जा रहे हैं, राइट, एंड लेट्स से 100 किलोमीटर्स पे हवेली का ढाबा आता है, और मैं 200 पे पहुंच गई हूँ. मैं 200 पे हूँ, बट आज भी 100 पे तो हवेली का ढाबा है ना. इट्स नॉट गॉन एनीवेयर. सो ऐसे हमारी सोल एक हाईवे पे निकल गई फ्रॉम द फर्स्ट लाइफ टाइम. सो एवरी लाइफ टाइम दैट वी लिव्ड, those memories that are unprocessed, unhealed, are already there in that timeline. So sometimes when we are sleeping, we travel through those timelines and we release some traumatic memories that are ready to be released and healed. So it's fun actually, you know, you're doing time travel when you're sleeping.
So that means कि मैं dreams में भी कुछ ना कुछ कर्मा create कर रही हूँ.
Release कर रही हूँ. Heal कर रही हूँ. या नॉट क्रिएट कर रही हैं, हमारा माइंड रिलीज करता है. ड्रीमिंग इज अ साइन दैट आई एम रिलीजिंग. सो एंड द थर्ड एस्पेक्ट ऑफ ड्रीमिंग इज ऑल्सो मे बी यू कुड गेट साइंस from maybe your ancestors. They give you signs that ऐसे होने वाला है, or maybe there's life beyond the 7th dimension, non-physical life. तो वो हमको indicate करते हैं, like you know our spirit guides, our angels, our gurus, our masters, वो भी कोई dreams होते हैं.
तो अब जैसे ना इंडिया में तो बहुत ज़्यादा ये बिलीव करते हैं कि अगर ड्रीम में सांप आ रहा है या ड्रीम में शेर आ रहा है या ड्रीम में कुछ भी कोई भी एनिमल और समथिंग इज कमिंग, तो उसका कुछ मीनिंग है. तो सच में इसका कुछ मीनिंग होता है? और
यस, लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल, ओके, ड्रीम्स कैन बी मेटाफोरिक आल्सो. लेट्स से अगर मुझे किसी चीज़ का फियर है, लेट्स से बचपन में मैं एग्जाम में फेल हो गई थी. नाउ बड़े होके मुझे फेलियर के बेसिस पे ड्रीम आते होंगे. जरूरी नहीं मैं एग्जाम में फेल हो रही हूँ, वो अभी अनप्रोसेस्ड ट्रॉमा मेरे सबकॉन्शियस में बचपन से दबा हुआ कि मैं फेल हो गई थी. सो सारी जिंदगी हमको अलग अलग टाइप के ड्रीम्स आते होंगे अराउंड फेलियर. जैसे मैं कहीं जा रही हूँ, स्टेज पे खड़ी हो रही हूँ, मैं बात कर रही हूँ एंड सडनली यू नो सब मजाक कर रहे हैं, वो एक फेलियर का ड्रीम आ सकता है. या आ सकता है कि मेरा बिजनेस में मैं फेल होगी. सो अराउंड फेलियर थीम. सो the theme is the same. Either have fear-based dreams or failure-based dreams, or I am not good enough dreams. But the story keeps changing because our mind is a story cooking machine. तो कुछ ना कुछ cook up करके उसके through metaphorically release करती है.
सपोज कोई आपके पास क्लाइंट आ रहा है, ओके, अभी उसको ड्रीम में कुछ तो डरावने सपने आ रहे हैं एंड हमें सपोज हम किसी टेम्पल या गुरुद्वारे या किसी जगह पर चले जाते हैं तो वो हमें सजेस्ट करते हैं कि आप अपने पिलो के नीचे नाइफ रख के सो या कड़ा रख के सो. डज दैट हेल्प? और
She'll tell you one thing. Have you heard of the placebo effect?
Yes.
Yeah. And अब तो साइंस ने वैलिडेट कर दिया है placebo. It is all about what I believe.
Okay.
Because the human brain only creates a reality based on my beliefs. So I could even take a tomato and put it under my pillow and I believe that this is Lord Ganesha. So वो belief जो मेरा है ना, वो मुझे protect करेगा. It's not the tomato or the knife. राइट. सो जब हम गुरुद्वारे जाते हैं, गुरुद्वारा एक बहुत ही अथॉरिटी, या मंदिर जाते हैं, एक बहुत ही अथॉरिटेटिव पोजीशन है, और वहां पे अगर किसी ने मुझे बोल दिया, सो इट्स वेरी ऑब्वियस दैट आई विल बिलीव इन इट, right? And I put it under my pillow and that gives me the impact. Like placebo में हमने ये सुना ना that you can give a person a sugar pill and tell them कि ये medicine है और ये आपको heal कर देगी. वो खाएंगे और वो heal हो जाएंगे. So it is our beliefs and our perception of reality that creates our truth. And the mind believes in what we believe in. Because the human mind was designed for preserving our beliefs. Right? अगर एक सांप है, सॉरी अगर एक रस्सी है उधर और मैं बिलीव करूं कि वो सांप है, राइट, मैं ऐसे ही डर जाऊंगी बिकॉज माई लॉजिकली आई नो कि वो रस्सी भी है, शायद हो सकती है, बट आई एम स्कैर्ड एंड आई विल परसीव दैट एज अ स्नेक. सो व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू टेल यू इज, ये बहुत मुश्किल है कहना ये रियली वर्क करता है या प्लेसिबो पे वर्क कर रहा है, बट डेफिनेटली इट वर्क्स.
तो अभी इससे मेरे को इंसिडेंट याद आया रस्सी और सांप से कि आई एक्चुअली स्विम अ लॉट. अब मैं सुबह स्विमिंग जाती हूँ और स्विमिंग करते हुए ना नीचे कुछ मशीन्स होती हैं विच इज लाइक अ स्नेक एंड द मोमेंट आई गो नियर देम आई जस्ट बिलीव दैट दे आर स्नेक्स एंड दे आर गोइंग टू ईट मी एंड आई जस्ट रन अवे फ्रॉम दैट एंटायर प्लेस. सो एक्चुअली दिस इज हैपनिंग विद माई ओन लाइफ एंड somebody my very close relative gave me this rudraksh I am wearing and the moment I wore this I actually believed कि ये मेरे को protect करेगा. And अभी मुझे ऐसा लगता है whenever I'm going to a good place or some podcast or anywhere जहाँ पे मुझे एक success चाहिए, I wear this and it actually helps me be confident enough and फिर उसके बाद जो रिजल्ट आता है ना, आई एम हैप्पी विद माई ओन थिंग. सो आई थिंक द वट एवर यू सेड इज एक्चुअली हैपनिंग इन माई ओन लाइफ ऑल्सो. थैंक यू so much for that.
Yeah, because see, Bhavishya, there is a scripture called the Last Gospel of Thomas, which was the pure original sayings of Jesus Christ. उसमें लिखा है, you will find me in a stone, you will find me in the trees, in the mountains. Consciousness is everywhere. तुम किसी चीज को भी पकड़ के उसको भगवान समझ लो, तो वो शो अप होगा, राइट? एंड शिद्दत से वो कहते हैं ना, कुछ भी आप बिलीव करो, इट स्टार्ट्स हैपनिंग. सो द पॉइंट इज व्हाट आर वी बिलीविंग. हम हमेशा नेगेटिव्स में बिलीव करते हैं और नेगेटिव ही हो रहा है, और हमको लगता है लाइफ हमको टॉर्चर कर रही है, बट हम सोचते भी नहीं कि हमारी बिलीव्स ये क्रिएट कर रही हैं.
So I have also read Gita and Mahabharat, and they both have different stories and different ways to teach life. What do you think? Which one is more suitable in today's generation? जैसे Gen Z आए हैं, अभी Gen-alpha आए हैं, and they are very different from what we were, millennials and Gen X. So what book do you suggest them to read?
No, I think the Gen Z and the new generation are a very aware generation. They are all fifth dimensional beings who are walking the planet, because our planet Earth is going through a big transitional shift. हमारे ग्रंथों में भी लिखा है 26,000 years के बाद एक साइकिल आया है, right? And I think they are a very, very logically wired generation, and that's why quantum physics is also coming in the forefront, marrying science and spirituality, because ये new age जो है ना, ये जो generation है, शायद scriptures में इतना नहीं जाएंगे जितना ये quantum physics के through spirituality में जाएंगे. Like when I look at my retreats, I have lot of younger generation coming into it because they understand the science, and through science they then want to work spirituality, right? But I think the Bhagavad Gita and the Vedas, have very, very modernized way if you interpret it well. So the point is not in which scripture we are reading. The point is who is interpreting it for you and how are you interpreting it. Right? That will matter.
So when we talk about karmas in past life, तो अभी की जो generation है, जो अब grow कर रहे हैं, they must be having a past life. उन्होंने 6-7 और life पहले देखी होंगी as compared to us. हमने हो सकता है 2 life पहले देखी हो because we were born much earlier. So do you think that's why they are more aware about the situation surrounding, because they are carrying something from their past life?
So no, that's not the reason, I guess. See, this is all about guessing, but we've come out into the onset of Kalyug right now. We are at the peak, and slowly the consciousness is moving towards the Satyuga, the golden age.
Yeah.
So all the souls that are coming on the planet now are coming with a lot of awareness and choice, because they are going to be the future generation. For the Satyug to really step in, it's going to take years and years. But जो आज souls आ रहे हैं, after 2 decades, when they become individuals, grown-up individuals, they will at least be mindful not to create the trauma for their future generations that our parents have created or our ancestors have created, right? So I guess that's the reason why the consciousness, the quality of souls coming on the planet is upgrading. It's just that.
Do you think past life can also affect our decision making in this current life?
Absolutely, yes. Like past lives can affect our decisions, our ancestral trauma. We also carry ancestral patterns that affects our decision making and our childhood trauma. So absolutely, yes, past life 200% can filter or cloud our perceptions of reality, and it impacts how we think and we make choices.
So I know a person, मेरा ही एक friend है, whose mother died when he was very young, maybe a 1 or a 2-year-old guy he was when his mother died. But अभी after 25 years, अभी जो उसकी mom हरकतें करती थी, like a small thing, like she used to do this every time, now he also does the same thing, and he has never seen his mother doing it because he was so small. How is that related? I'm so
Avisha, I told you, 60% of our programming of patterns, it happens when we are in our mother's womb. Every thought, feeling and emotion that our mother is going through, every pattern that we've embodied, even if he's not seen his mother, the pattern is programmed. right, into our cellular memories, and that shows up as our behavior, as our emotions, as our anger, as our fear, as how we behave in physically or emotionally. So it's all very real. We are like a computer, okay? We start getting programmed right from the time of conception. And वो 9 months to massive programming होती है. Let's say if your mother and father had a fight, right? When you were in your mother's womb and your mother was very angry with your father, which is very normal, this situation. That anger gets stored in our cells, in our cellular memory, and when we grow up, we just don't know why we are angry with our father. But we are angry and scared. कोई रीजन नहीं होता, लॉजिकल रीजन ही नहीं होता, बट हमको एक गैप होता है वहाँ पे. This is just an example. Or if your mother was carrying a lot of poverty consciousness, you could have been born up in a very rich family, but if your mother was carrying her money wounds and she was feeling like scarcity consciousness, right? So you grow up feeling scared about money and you don't know why. In spite of having everything, you're just having this feeling, पैसा खत्म हो जाएगा, कहाँ से आएगा, आएगा तो चला जाएगा, and you don't know why of thinking these thoughts. वो internal thoughts and memories होते हैं.
So there is a lot of other things also going on in this world, like sexuality. So आपके पास कभी कोई ऐसा client आया है who is, so a girl coming and she is not into men, she likes women. So how do you deal with those people?
So the first thing is, you recognize that it's a personal choice, and my job is not to kind of bring them back to normal, because there's no benchmark to that. However, I help them heal their emotional wounds, because somewhere in the childhood they picked up a message as a girl that men are not safe. And that could be coming from a father wound or a daddy wound. So I help them heal all of that and then bring them to a state of balance. When you understand human energies, okay, we all have masculine and feminine energy within us. Even if you're a man or a woman, we all have the masculine, the yin and the yang energies. So these preferences happen with an imbalance of those energies because of some trauma that we've gone through in a very early childhood years, or it could even be your fetal trauma. It could be at a very young age, maybe in the mother's womb, the child decided men are not safe, so I'd rather be with women, right? So these then start creating some imbalances in our hormones, and we start feeling more attracted towards the same sex. Now, I will not attach a wrongness to that. However, my job is not to bring them back into where they were, straight. My job is to heal all of their emotional wounds so that they start loving themselves for who they are and embracing their truth.
Do you think this is much more related to external factors, or it is more for internally connected?
Internally, when you say it is definitely not genetic. It could be ancestral. It could definitely be, so the study of epigenetics states that it is your environment that shapes your behavior and your destiny, right? Your environment. So it could be an environment coming from your ancestors, maybe somewhere in your ancestral lineage, there was a lot of abuse of that and you're carrying that. It could be from your mother's womb. It could be also from a past life. But it's definitely, however, all these memories which are carrying inside our DNA, okay, or inside our cellular memories, they are also helping shape up our biology, the chemistry in our body. So automatically वो hormonal imbalance भी हो जाता है ना. It's all connected. Now imagine like this is one room here, and in one corner, if there's a bag of rats, dead rats, will it smell in the whole room and impact the environment in the room? Definitely yes, right? So where are we holding these memories? We are holding it in our cells, in our DNA. Now where is our DNA in our cellular memory? Inside our body. So now that is impacting, that environment is impacting the state of the chemicals in my brain. My body is nothing but a combination of the chemicals my brain is producing. So it becomes an internal information database for my chemistry to function, and then I have more hormones in me to attract women than attracting men. So once we heal the wounds and we come with meditation, with mindfulness and with all the trauma releasing therapies, the person starts feeling very integrated, and then they can help make a much more balanced choice and decision.
Okay. So can gays be converted into straight people? with the help of healing therapy.
But why do we want to convert them? Why can't we just embrace the beauty?
But is it possible?
I really don't know. I will not comment on this, right? For me, I just respect everybody because, these are just labels society puts on us. And it's important we become really compassionate to recognizing that we're all souls choosing a journey. And maybe they've just chosen that path and there's no wrongness in it or there's nothing right. See, please understand, we all, by default as a human species, are bisexual in nature. We have that element in us.
Okay.
By default,
Yeah.
okay. However, एक conditioning हमको बोलती है कि reproduction के लिए एक male और female का होना जरूरी है, right? But because of certain imbalances or certain trauma or just certain preferences, we go into a polarity state of extreme being a lesbian or a gay. And I think that's a personal choice. Again, I'm repeating, मेरे लिए वो ज़रूरी नहीं है, मेरे लिए वो ज़रूरी है that are they feeling empowered in whom they are they feeling whole and complete, क्या उनको खुद से प्यार है और अंदर से वो guilt नहीं है, shame नहीं है, right? Because I'll tell you what, there are many cases that I take up. जब तक वो आते हैं थेरेपी के लिए, right, and they want to reprogram themselves, ना, they are so caught up in that hardwired memory of being a gay that they don't want to make another choice. It's a very good comfort zone for them.
But there are many people whom I know and their families are not supportive enough because they are gays or lesbians, and just because their families are not supportive, they are in this depression or anxiety. They are facing so many types of other mental illness. So would you want to give message to their families?
Of course, yes. I mean, how can you not love your child or this person just because they have a preference? I mean, if you actually look at it, that means सब कुछ बहुत conditional है ना, कि अगर वो they match up to the parameters of society, और अब society change हो रही है, the modern new generation is changing this whole thing. So I really feel judging someone based on their preference is really unkind and uncompassionate, and I really want to let every family know that if you find your child, and you know what, I'll tell you something, parents को ना बचपन से ही पता चल जाता है और वो हाइड करते हैं, खुद को ही झूठ बोलते हैं. So it is for the mother and the father to recognize this in the child and embrace the child and give the child the wings to fly. In fact, they are the most creative people and even they have a right to live this life, right? इंडियन सोसाइटी में तो जबरदस्ती शादियां भी कर देते हैं and then वाइफ की जिंदगी या हस्बैंड की जिंदगी बर्बाद है after that. Why even do that?
Right. आपके पास कोई ऐसे क्लाइंट्स आए हैं जो आपको इंस्पिरेशन दें, आपको इंस्पायर करा हो उन्होंने? Absolutely.
I think हर एक इंसान मुझे बहुत इंस्पायर इसलिए करता है because I look at every human being as a gift of God, as a piece of God, and कुछ ना कुछ तो strengths होते हैं. Like for example, इंस्पिरेशन या गिफ्ट दोनों में से एक चीज तो मिलती है. I feel, everybody who touches you on this path, in this journey called life, has something to even teach you. They say, the guru and the shishya are collaborating and coexisting in a common space. A true guru is someone who can also learn from their own clients or their own students. So I pick up a lot from my students.
कोई ऐसी स्टोरी है जो आप शेयर कर सकते हो कि दिस एक्ट ऑफ दिस पर्सन हैज रियली इंस्पायर्ड मी, अब मैं भी ऐसा अपने जिंदगी में करना चाहूँगी, कुछ भी ऐसा छोटा सा?
My list is so long that I say randomly आप अगर पूछोगे तो yeah, I mean there was this time when I had this one client and her trauma that she was carrying was very, very unreal, and I don't want to share the story. And the moment I invited her to forgive, all that happened in the past, and she was so inviting and so willing and so flexible because of her commitment to her own growth, that really inspired me to realize that यार forgiveness एक second में भी हो सकती है, हमको time नहीं लगाना पड़ता जिग करने के लिए कि यार forgiveness हम देखेंगे, सोचेंगे. So she was so willing, and उसकी story बहुत ही unreal थी.
थोड़ा सा बता.
No, you know what? For me, it's
We won't take names.
no, but it's really, really personal, and I think I will skip that.
Okay.
But yeah, forgiveness is something that I've learned. I've learned to let go. Number one. Another thing what I've learned is, learned a lot of kindness. If you saw me 20 years back, I was a very kadak coach. Kadak means, because sometimes what happens when you're in this journey and you want to transform people, then you don't want to settle for mediocrity. So then maybe I would even go to the point of, telling them little aggressively कि change हो जाओ, अपने घर में जाके प्यार दो सबको, right? So, but over time I've learned a lot of kindness and compassion by seeing a lot of kind, compassionate people in my world. I feel we are all a gift to each other, and we're all here to teach and learn.
So, कुछ टेक्निक्स ऐसी हैं, अगर आपके पास कोई क्लाइंट आ रहा है डिप्रेशन या एंजाइटी को लेके, कैन यू हेल्प दैट क्लाइंट by some spiritual methods instead of science? जैसे अगर मैं आऊँगी तो मैं साइंस से ज़्यादा उस टाइम मैं इतना इमोशनली हैवी होंगी कि मुझे साइंस के अलावा कुछ ऐसा कंफर्ट चाहिए होगा. सो हाउ कैन वी
सी सबसे पहले तो spirituality में breath work, breathing, your prana, your breath is the doorway to your consciousness. And जो depression में है वो इस वक्त unaware और dark zone में जा चुका है. So breath work really helps. Meditation, mantra chanting, even just primarily chanting Om starts picking up their energy and making them more self-aware, and that becomes a beginning point for them to come out of their depression, because it gives you that energy or that vibration or that frequency, which is a very high frequency. So I purely believe in the power of mantra chanting.
But why Om? Suppose a Muslim is coming, what mantra would you suggest?
Whatever suits them, whatever. Om is just an example, right? Whatever mantra they resonate with, whatever. See, what is a mantra? A mantra is a point of reference that is bigger than me right now, where I can chant and absorb that vibration and reach there.
Okay.
So it becomes a hook for me. So it could be any mantra that they believe in.
I myself believe in Om. It gives me a lot of relaxation, power. It helps me connect with my own self. What other mantra other than Om can we suggest to our
So I love the mantra Om Namah Shivaya, Shivoham, then Vaheguru. When you understand the meaning of Vaheguru, right? Va means I'm praising. Va, okay. Gu is darkness, Ru means light. So by chanting Vaheguru, I'm transmuting the darkness into light. Right? So I'm doing Vava to the darkness and the light. And when I chant Vaheguru, Vaheguru, right? The Gu is the darkness again, I'm saying. So if you're in depression, you're in darkness. And Ru is the light.
Wow.
So then you transmute, because energy cannot be created, not destroyed. It can only be transmuted from one form to the other. So by chanting this mantra, our words have power. Another mantra which I really love is Aham Brahmasmi.
Okay.
Yeah, which says that I am the Brahma. Aham Brahmasmi. Inside me is the power to create. Then there is Loka Samastha Sukhino Bhavantu. Right, when I'm sending a lot of blessings, may the whole world live in happiness, joy and blessings, because what the thumb rule is, again, whatever I'm giving out comes back to me. So I'm blessing the whole world, then that joy and happiness comes back to me. So I have a never ending list of my mantras that I really love to chant.
Do you have any mantra to attract money?
Yes, so the best is Shreem.
Okay.
The moment you chant Shreem 108 times, it resonates with the frequency of Goddess Lakshmi and abundance, right? And the mantra has a huge science behind it, right? It's not just like it's random. There is a huge science, but I'm not going to the science of it. Shreem, or even chanting a Lakshmi mantra, right, really helps. If you need protection, right, Om Gam Ganpatiye Namaha. That's Lord Ganesha. If you're feeling dark and you want to transmute the darkness, then Shiva mantras help. So every mantra has a certain frequency which you can tune into. Like a radio station, and you tune into 91, तो 91 का गाना बजेगा. So when you tune into Shreem, abundance का गाना बजेगा. Lakshmi mantra. Okay, Om Shreem Kreem Lakshmi Namaha. Right? It's a real nice mantra for inviting Goddess Lakshmi into your life. They're like, you can go on and on with the mantra world, and it's really purely based on the science of sound vibrations. Like Nikola Tesla said, no, if you want to tap into the magic of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency and vibration. तो जब मंत्रा चांट करते हैं ना, एक वाइब्रेशन क्रिएट करते हैं, राइट, एंड उस वाइब्रेशन से हम हीलिंग या अपना स्टेट जो पाना चाहते हैं हम पाते हैं.
Do you have any mantra to kickstart our day? सबसे पहले उठते ही हमें
I always tell people, the moment you wake up, do 15 minutes of Om chanting, because that is the most powerful mantra. It's connected directly to our third eye and our crown chakra, the upper chakras, or even chanting. The mantra apparently is called the sound of Brahma and is associated with the crown chakra. So instantly it puts you into a very, very high vibration mode.
Okay, so if you weren't a life coach, what would you be?
I don't know. Then I would be, the next thing what I really see myself is like a very, very ideal homemaker, a good mother. I've always loved, there's this one part of me that loves the homely life, right? But I don't see myself as anything else, because I grew up knowing that I was born to make some difference to the world. And I remember as a child also I would have sleepless nights, right? Because I just knew कि मुझे ना मेरे अंदर है कुछ देने के लिए. But then I would wonder as a child कि मेरी बात कौन सुनेगा? And that is when I was 26, 27, I had this inner awareness that if I really want to be someone, I will have to work hard on myself and become someone that people will listen to what I have to say. And it's been quite a journey. The 30 years has been quite a struggle journey. But today I'm so much in gratitude to God for actually creating this. तो मुझे नहीं लगता, कुछ और समझ ही नहीं आता मैं क्या करती.
आप
शायद मैं घर पे ही बैठती और एक
इतने सारे लोगों को कोच करते हो, उनका फियर दूर करने में हेल्प करते हो, उनको डिसीजन मेकिंग में हेल्प करते हो, बट आई एम श्योर आपकी लाइफ में भी कुछ तो ऐसा फियर होगा जो यू नो विच डू यू हैव एनी बिगेस्ट फियर इन योर लाइफ?
सो नो, feeling of fear है. देखो, please understand, we are all human beings and we all have emotions, like we have organs in the body. Like asking me आपका fear है is asking me आपके पास liver है. ये anger, fear, sadness, ये human emotions है. हर एक इंसान के पास होते हैं, right? However, over time I have learned to manage these emotions. So जब fear आता है ना, today where I am, I realize I am bigger than my fear. I am not my fear. I am a soul who's having this fear. So I don't become my fear. I manage it, right? Versus 20 years back, वो डर मुझ पे हावी हो जाता. I would make the fear big and I would become small. See, please understand, we are a soul who has a body. We have a mind and we have emotions. But we are not our emotions. राइट? सो गुस्सा आता है, यस, बट क्या उस गुस्से से मैं किसी का हार्म करती हूँ आज? नहीं. अगर 10 साल पहले आप पूछते तो शायद मैं हार्म करती, मैं चिल्लाती, चीखती. सो यू ग्रेजुएट ओवर द ईयर्स. मरते दम तक ये इमोशंस रहेंगे हमारे साथ. पॉइंट वो नहीं है. पॉइंट वो है कि हम उनको कितना हावी होने देते हैं. They say no, you can't allow your emotions, you can't become your emotions. Because you are not your emotions, you are an infinite soul who's having these emotions. And the emotions ना एक ocean के waves हैं, आते जाते. Emotion is energy in motion.
Yep.
वो आया वो चला जाएगा. But हम लोग ना उसको story attach करके पकड़ लेते हैं और उसको बड़ी बनाते रहते हैं mind में. So do I have fear? Yes. Does my fear overpower me? No.
So the crux of it is accepting whatever emotions you have and not being in the denial phase. Not being in the denial, because the moment you resist, it persists. Then one story gets attached to it and you start going to spiral, and more downward it starts pulling you down. So just last one question. Would you want to give message to somebody who is confused if they have depression, or they are in the verge of getting clinically depressed, but currently they are confused कि मुझे डॉक्टर के पास जाना चाहिए या घर पे मुझे कुछ इलाज करना चाहिए या medication की तरफ जाना चाहिए? What message would you want to give?
See, I want to say something, that clinical depression is very, very real, right? And अगर आपको कुछ symptoms हो रहे हैं, first go and see a psychiatrist or a psychologist or a therapist. Let them help you analyze get your blood test done, see your blood work. Sometimes D3 B12 levels बहुत low होते हैं और उसकी वजह से भी हम spiral होते हैं, right? So see your blood work because your blood is an indicator कि हमारा chemistry क्या हो रहा है. The second thing is please reach out to your family for help first. And more than the person undergoing depression, I want the family people to overpower and take control of them and take their responsibility. Because वो तो एक dark space में जा चुके हैं या जाने वाले हैं, तो उनको तो awareness है ही नहीं ना. So जब भी कोई ऐसा केस आता है, first I want to see the family and I say family का support बहुत ज़रूरी है निकलने में बाहर. So don't suffer alone. You're not alone in this. You know, God gave you a family. Coexistence is the key. So let's depend on each other. We are an interdependent species. We are not an independent species, right? So we must reach out to someone for help and not suffer alone.
Okay, one last question, because this is something I am myself suffering. So when there is a situation, that situation is not big enough, but just because I overthink a lot, तो वो इतनी होती है तो मैं उसे इतनी बना देती हूँ. So is there any way to stop overthinking?
Yes. First of all, देखो हमारा mind जो बना है ना, वो ऐसे बना है, it's a magnifying glass. किसी भी situation को वो बड़ा बनाती है because our mind is designed for self-preservation. And as a species, we've come from the primitive times where we were, in the jungle. So any animal also coming up, our mind exaggerates things. वो उसका काम है. However, the moment we take few deep breaths, conscious breaths, we come out of that exaggerated state and we come into reality, and our lens changes. So हम उस बड़ी चीज को हम analyze कर सकते हैं. So the whole point is, when your mind is exaggerating and overthinking, it's gone into a spiral of the thought process. At that moment, taking 3 or 4 deep conscious breaths will center you into your, anchor you. And then you can start analyzing and say, am I really thinking, is it worth it? नहीं, ये सच में तो हो नहीं रहा, चलो इसको जाने देते हैं, right? And overthinking is a sign that our lower chakras are also blocked, our energy centers. So that requires a level of energy balancing. But the instant step is 3 or 4 deep breaths, conscious breaths. And suddenly you can become aware that why am I going to a spiral? मैं इतना क्यों सोच रही हूँ?
I think this podcast was not just a podcast. It was a healing to myself, and I hope इससे काफ़ी ज़्यादा energy, healing, और कोई भी चीज़ में अगर आप उलझे हो, depressed हो, sad हो, तो आप अपने उस friend के साथ share करें, ताकि उस friend को भी help और आपको भी help और हमें भी help और हमें भी motivation मिले. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Ramon, for getting in touch with Bhavishwani and for your time. I'm so grateful.
Thank you so much, and I really appreciate this. It was wonderful.